Hi, I'm Casey Zimmerman, your real estate guy. In this video, I'd like to cover an observation that I've made during the last 32 years in this business. It's something that's been difficult to get most sellers to understand because I didn't really have the ability through our MLS system that would actually show this information on a graph. And now that I'm able to do videos, I thought I would graph this out and put it online for you. So just when is the best time of year to sell here in Minnesota? My experience has been that most people believe that it's either in the spring when the grass turns green and the flowers are blooming. Others believe that it's in the summertime when the kids are on summer vacation from school. And I believed the exact same thing until I got in the business of selling real estate back in 1981. So after just a few years of seeing the same trends year after year, I can tell you that I learned that the best time to put your home on the market is actually January. I know what you're thinking. It's cold, the lawn is usually snow covered, the buyers can't see your flowers and your landscaping, and the buyers aren't outside looking at houses in January anyway, are they? They are. You bet they are. And I'll show you, because now we have the technology. So let's grab a graphic that shows a history of pending sales all the way back to January of 2005. This graph happens to be for homes in the entire St. Francis School District 15, but I also looked at School District 11. It shows the same thing, which is the Anoka School District. And pending sales means that they've negotiated a purchase agreement with a buyer and most of the contingencies have been removed. They haven't closed yet, but we want to see when they actually got the purchase agreement so that we know the best time to put your home on the market. If you looked at actual closings, which take place maybe 2 or 3 months after the purchase agreement, you would miss the market. So let's go ahead and place an arrow on January of each year. Here we go. This will show us when the homes begin to sell. Here's another January. Now you see a pattern here. Now let's go ahead and grab a graphic for the Twin Cities market. This graph will show pending sales back to 2005, and it'll show you what I'm talking about even better than the previous graph. So now we'll go ahead and start placing arrows on each January. There's one. There's another one. Another one. And so on. So it's pretty hard to dispute. So the homes start a pretty hefty increase in sales beginning in January of every single year. And this increase runs until May or June, and then it starts to drop off a little bit. And you're thinking, how can that be? That's when the kids get out of school, right? And I'll cover my theory on that in a moment. But as a seller, you're probably thinking, I don't want to move in the winter. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. But remember this. Say we list your house on January 1st, and maybe it takes 30 to 45 days to sell. Now we're into February. So if it takes 2 months to close, we're into April. So that's not bad, is it? I found that once we get a buyer, we can almost always negotiate a closing date that'll be convenient for you. The buyers found a home of their dreams, and as much as they want to get in as quickly as possible, they're willing to wait as opposed to giving up on the house. And the great part about listing your home early in the year is that most of the other sellers are waiting until spring. So you don't have as much competition from the other sellers. So here's what I think happens in the summertime and why you see sales start to drop off a little bit, or at least that's what I've noticed after May or June. Usually in the spring, all these other houses begin to come on the market, and then not long after that, usually May through August, the buyers get distracted. What are they distracted by? Well, how about things like Minnesota? We have the Minnesota fishing opener. About the same time, we've got college graduations, we've got high school graduations after that. summer vacations, Labor Day weekend, 4th of July weekend, or week in many cases, Memorial Day weekend, 3 or 4 weddings, maybe more, county fairs, state fair. Here in Minnesota, we have to squeeze a lot of stuff into our short summer. So pending sales actually fall off somewhat during the summer and then pick up in the fall after the kids get back to school. So I just wanted you to have this information, so if you happen to be ready to sell in the middle of the winter, you should do it. Don't think you need to wait until the grass turns green. You're losing prime time by waiting. Now, don't get me wrong, homes still move after this time period, but we just need to keep these trends in mind when we do our pricing analysis. We're going to have to be more competitive because we've got more competition, so we're going to want to make sure that we get priced correctly. And you can view the video on my homepage to see some more information on that. But thank you again for visiting. If you have any real estate needs, please call, text, or email me. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. I'm Casey Zimmerman. Whether you need to sell or buy, I'm your real estate guy.